Thank you all for being here today. Good afternoon. My name is Sue Williams, and I'm the CEO of Children's Trust of South Carolina. We are gathered here today to mark 30 years of prevention of child abuse, neglect, and injury in South Carolina and communities across our entire state. It is also the launch of Child Abuse Prevention Month for 2014. As the lead agency for prevention in South Carolina, Children's Trust continually seeks solutions on how to keep our children safe, free from harm, from abuse, neglect, and injury. Thank you, Governor Haley, for joining us here today. Your presence shows a commitment to South Carolina's children and your understanding that prevention works when it comes to keeping kids healthy, nurtured, and safe. Thank you for your support and for your leadership. Also joining with me are the Volunteer Citizens Board members that leads Children's Trust across our state. I thank the board for their leadership and critical support they provide. Brian Craven, Pat Lauder, Jeff Allen, Elizabeth Gressett. I also recognize the many child-serving professionals and prevention partners we have here from throughout South Carolina. It's a lot of people out there. These are people and professionals from the upstate, the low country, the PD, and the Midlands. These folks are delivering those critical programs, working with families to build strong families and keep children safe. We're also very appreciative of the State House leadership that we enjoy and are pleased so many of you could join us today, particularly Senator Alexander and Representative Cobb Hunter. Again, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and Children's Trust is home to the state chapter of Prevent Child Abuse America. We are proud to lead PCA's national campaign, Pinwheels for Prevention, throughout our state. The pinwheel represents proven protection programs. It shows us what we know, what it will take and what will help make impact in the communities to reduce and eliminate child abuse and on a more significant scale than we've seen. I'm very proud to say that Children's Trust, we have merged and grown and now has programming that touches every county in South Carolina. It is our mission at Children's Trust to pave the way for family success at the community level because we know what it will take to make a difference. We advocate at the state level for effective policies that protect children and empower communities. We train and support youth-serving professionals, ensuring that best practices are shared across the system. We provide seed funding for local innovative child abuse prevention programs. We raise awareness about quality childcare. We focus on young parents, providing education and resources that strengthen their families. Most importantly, we keep children and their best interests at the heart of all the decisions we make at Children's Trust. We acknowledge and know the problems are complex, often rooted in poverty, substance abuse and addiction, generational abuse, and that families suffer from significant deficits in education and parental knowledge and resources. And while these problems and their solutions can be complex, prevention can be quite simple. In closing, prevention is a wise investment, and the savings realized from effective prevention strategies ultimately mean good business for South Carolina. Through less intervention from social services and smaller government spending, we encourage anyone who cares for a child to visit our website at SC Children to see tips for abuse prevention, injury prevention, and resources and educational opportunities. I'm honored now to introduce our Governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley.
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, we want to just let you know how much we appreciate all of you took the time to be here, how much I appreciate all the legislators behind me taking the time to be here, because as we talk about this, we're talking about the little ones that can't always talk for themselves. That's what this is about. As we, go through day to day here in this legislature and in the State House trying to improve the lives of people. But one of the best things we can ever do is improve the lives of those that don't feel like their voice is loud enough, or don't know how to say that they need help, or don't know where to go. It is all of our responsibility and all of the citizens of South Carolina to always look for child abuse, always look at those children, and if you see something, do something to help them. Don't wait for someone else to do it. We want to be a part of doing that. And it's not just when they're 5 years old, it could be when they're 17 years old. And we hear cases and see kids that it can happen at any point in their childhood. But what we want to make sure of is that we develop an army around these children and that they understand that in South Carolina, child abuse is something that we're not just going to talk about one day. We want to talk about it 365 days of the year until we know there is no child abuse. And so we, first of all, I want to thank Children's Trust for everything they always do. It is just an amazing gift and treasure that we have in South Carolina that helps us with this. But we have two proclamations. One that's very important that we want to say is, whereas the prevention of child abuse and neglect is a community issue that depends on the involvement of all citizens and the promotion of healthy, nurturing relationships between children and adults. And whereas effective research-proven child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships formed between families, social service agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Now, therefore, I, Nikki R. Haley, Governor of the great state of South Carolina, do hereby proclaim April 2014 as Child Abuse Prevention Month throughout the state and encourage all South Carolinians to work together to protect the children of the Palmetto State by supporting our families, strengthening the communities in which we live. And again, I want to stress the fact that we may talk about this in April, but we want to do something about this every month of the year. And so I would ask that when you're out in your circles, talk among your neighbors, talk among your church groups, talk among everybody that you know, and remind them of this and the signs to watch for. So important to know what the signs to watch for, so that if they see their children's friends or they see someone, we can get them help. The second one is more of a celebration that I am very proud to say, and that one is about the fact that Children's Trust spends every day helping children. But this is the 30th year that they have done that, and so we are celebrating 30 years of Children's Trust by saying, whereas strategic partnerships with public and private organizations enhance the efforts of Children's Trust to keep our children safe and ensure they have the opportunity to thrive in healthy, nurturing environments. And whereas Children's Trust of South Carolina is celebrating 30 years of helping to keep our children safe, now therefore, I, Nikki R. Haley, Governor of the great state of South Carolina, do hereby proclaim April 3rd, 2014 as Children's Trust of South Carolina 30th Anniversary Day throughout the state and encourage all South Carolinians to recognize the vital role of Children's Trust in protecting our children, supporting our families, and strengthening our communities. So thank you again for taking this time for the children of South Carolina. Thank you for taking this time to see what we can do to make this state better, and we will continue to be as committed as well. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Governor Haley. We're also excited to be joined here today by Justin Strickland, a past board chair of Children's Trust, an important person in our organization's history. Justin?
Thank you, Sue. When Sue called me the other day and asked if I would give a brief history of the Children's Trust, it reminded me that life's not a spectator sport. I served on the board. It's been a couple of years now, but I was glad to be here and come back and talk to you a little bit about how we got to where we are today. As the governor mentioned, 30 years ago, Governor Dick Riley signed the Children's Trust Fund into being. We've had several homes over the years, but operate today as a thriving nonprofit organization focused on keeping our youngest happy, healthy, and safe. As you may know, an important part of Children's Trust history is the history of collaboration. A little less than a decade ago, several board members of 3 statewide child-serving organizations decided it was time to advance the cause of children rather than advance the cause of separate competing organizations. Beginning as 4 distinct child-serving organizations, Children's Trust has grown to be a strong statewide institution with prevention and protecting children as the focus of our work. Weary of searching for board talent, leadership, and financial support, Voices for South Carolina's Children, Prevent Child Abuse South Carolina, and the Children's Trust Fund merged into a single child advocacy, child safety, and family strengthening organization. Not long after that, Safe Kids of South Carolina joined our organization. We have come out of that merge experience as a strong organization with a unique position and mission. Children's Trust is the only statewide organization focusing on prevention, dedicated to strengthening and supporting public and private efforts to keep South Carolina's children safe. In these financially restrictive times, successful organizations are nimble, innovative, results-oriented, and collaborative. They foster and support a culture of leadership that sparks change, breaks down barriers, and accelerates success. I am very proud to say that Children's Trust is one of those organizations. I'm also very proud to have been a part of the history. I'm honored to share an email from Governor Dick Riley, who signed the statute legislating Children's Trust into existence 30 years ago. Glad that bell didn't ring while I was talking. To Sue Williams, he writes, I'm very proud of the Children's Trust and your 30 years of service for South Carolina's children. It is very proper to celebrate this event. I regret that I am committed to speak due to a prior commitment in Greenville and cannot make it to Columbia. We need to protect children as much or even more today than we did 30 years ago. I remember well when we passed the enabling legislation, and I was proud to sign it into law. Support of the Children's Trust is probably more important today. So congratulations. Keep up the good work to prevent child abuse, neglect, and unintentional injury. My best wishes to you all, Dick Riley.
It was 30 years ago, because of leadership in the governor's office and the legislature, as Justin explained, that the Children's Trust was started by statute to fund innovative, community-based child abuse prevention programs. In those early years, there was funding for a small handful of programs, all limited in scope, working hard but working small. Over the years, child abuse prevention has had an interesting history in South Carolina, housed in different locations and lacking capacity and resources to make a difference. The Trust has been through the merge, which has given us efficiencies and built a strong foundation and set a clear goal to achieve success in the future. It's very encouraging to know that as a state, we're doing more now of what we need to do to protect our children. We're making strides in areas across the state that support our families and help our youngest see a bright future, a future where all children have the opportunity to thrive in a healthy, nurturing environment. In closing this afternoon, I thank all of you for being here, standing for our children and our future. I invite all of you to join with me and Governor Haley in signing our pledge to be prevention partners working together to keep South Carolina's children safe.